April 5th, 2025. And I am here at the World's Fair Park for the Knoxville Book Festival. The Covenant Health Marathon is also gonna be run today. I think they got the 5K and like the marathon later, something like that. So it's only fitting to spend this weekend with books once again here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Now, you may remember the post I made of Jim Haslam in the chapel at the St. John's Cathedral. Now, that was a literary festival held every year here in Knoxville by the St. John's Cathedral. I think they're in their 9th year at the St. John's Literary Festival here in Knoxville. But this weekend, 5 and 6, is the first book festival ever in Knoxville, and it will be held here at the Knoxville Convention Center, part of the World's Fair Park here in downtown. You know, I have to sometimes question myself, what am I doing here at a book festival? You know, despite having a MA in English literature, the answer is really not always obvious. I cannot, it was probably college in 1980 something, and I read my last book, complete book. My siblings, my brothers, I remember used to always call me, you know, oh, I just finished this great book. You gotta read it. And they'd proceed to tell me about this book, whether it's fiction, which my older brother preferred, or whether it was some historical book that my younger brother preferred. But they always were reading, and you know, and they'd come to me and tell me, you know, the brother with the English degrees, you know, and this fascination with writing, you know, wasn't reading a thing. And you know, finally one of them said to me, they said, you know, I think it was my oldest brother, said, you know, it's like, why don't you read anymore? Like, you know, you're so many years out of college, you used to love reading, you know, why don't you read anymore? And, you know, for a while I thought about that, and it dawned on me why I wasn't reading anymore. I couldn't concentrate. I could not concentrate. And I remember telling, you know, my oldest brother, you know, I said, I'm lucky I can read a news article. You know, because I cannot devote entire time to a novel. I'm constantly distracted. You know, I'm either worried about keeping a job or finding a job as a teacher.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the Knoxville Book Festival Day 2.
Or finding and keeping an apartment. As a young single gay man.
Making him feel welcome.
Thank you so much for
And that's really
sharing with us and for joining us
the
at
reason
first
why I have
Knoxville
not
Book Festival. Will not be the last, hopefully. And
kept up with any sort of reading, fiction,
the first question I have, we'll just
or
start
book,
from right to left. Why
book
romance?
industry.
Was there another genre?
So I am here today more as a student
There is no other option. I mean,
than as a professor
other types of
or an
books, I just
expert.
love to have a romantic subplot. I'm like, are y'all gonna hook up? You should hook up. Sorry. The vitamin D. No, I write in genres everything from pitch black, dark, all the way to squeaky, cozy, and they all have some, at least, subplot of romance in them. And I just never considered not doing that. I don't know, I've been married for 21 years, and romance has been a big part of my entire life, and I guess I'll